Okay, listen, if your website has been a thorn in your side for a little bit or it's not bringing in leads anymore, then this video is for you.
Or if you've been Googling, should I redesign my website? This is your sign.
We always say around here, your website should be one of your hardest working employees. So if it's slacking, we're not blaming you, but we're gonna talk about how to fix it together.
In this video, we're gonna break down exactly what you should know as a small business before embarking on the journey that is redesigning your website, including signs that it may be time actually for a redesign, what a redesign does for your business, when you should DIY the redesign or outsource it, and if you decide to outsource it, how to pick the right agency, how that'll impact the price, and some practical next steps after we've broken that all down.
If you've been putting this off because it feels overwhelming, we get it, but by the end of this video, you'll know what to do next, so let's just get right into it.
How to know when it's time to redesign your website if you're a small business owner. Right off the bat, let me say, your website is not a failure. It just means that your business is scaling and your website hasn't also been scaling with it. We've talked to a lot of small business owners out there, and the overwhelming feedback we get is, my website is just existing. So if you're in that boat as well, you're not alone. Right off the bat, a few signs that your website is in need of a redesign is if it's extremely slow or extremely glitchy. These are going to incredibly impact negatively the user experience. So what you can do is type your website URL, throw it into Google PageSpeed Insights, and see what's actually going on. It's going to give you some actionable tips specifically tailored to what's going on with your website and how you can fix them.
Don't sleep on the technical side. That can have a huge impact on your website.
Speaking of huge impact, another really big one is mobile. If your site isn't mobile friendly in today's day and age, that should be #1 priority to fix. I'm pretty sure it's now more than 60% of global web traffic comes from people who are on their phone. So now mobile friendliness shouldn't just be an afterthought, it should be a priority when designing your website. And if you're using a web builder that isn't helping you design your website mobile friendly first, it's time to get a new website builder. Personally, we use Elementor Pro, and it has been so great to make sure that we are designing our website that is completely responsive based on any screen a user may be on. We'll leave a link in the description if you want to go check it out as well. Another indicator that your website might need a redesign is if I can specifically name when your website was probably designed, it's time for an update. If your branding isn't matching what's currently being reflected on everything else via social media or your marketing materials, you need to make sure your website is staying cohesive throughout, because that's going to build trust with your target audience. Don't let your site be it should be effective. That was cringe. Cut it out!
Okay, so now that we've looked at a few indicators that it might be time to look into redesigning your website for your small business, now let's talk about what that can actually do for your business if you decide to go forward with that.
You need a website that not only looks good, but works good. This is where strategy comes into play.
Redesigning your website is not just about the look and the feel of it with fonts or cool photos or product photography,
even though we do love those.
It's about building the foundation that will support your goals and grow with you. We're talking about conversions, bookings, calls, sales, etc. This is going to come through clear call to actions, really smooth navigation, and strategic design with marketing psychology embedded in that, which overall leads to better user experience that can increase conversions by over 400%.
A redesign is also going to help increase your trust. 94% of first impressions of a website are based on design and not necessarily the content. So even if you're incredible at what you do, your website design still needs to be professional and provide a really good user experience. Also, speed matters. If your website is taking more than 3 seconds to load, almost 40% of visitors are going to leave. They're not going to wait around for your website to load. So go pull up your phone right now and see how long it takes for your website to load. This is an easy test that you can see how it's actually going to interact in the real world and see how long you'd be willing to wait for a website to load.
So we know that the design and the look of your website is super important, but also redesigning your website is a great opportunity to improve your SEO. While you redesign, you get to think about your copy and your content that's on your website, do the keyword research, fix the technical issues like we mentioned at the very beginning, check all of your links, and then improve how you show up in search results. Redesigning the front of your website or what users interact with is super important, but also making sure you update the back end of your website or the process you use to update your website in the future will make it so much better in the long run.
At the end of the day, a well-performing website isn't a want in today's day and age, it's a need. You're either going to be found or you're going to be forgotten. So now let's get into, if you've decided based on those parameters that you need to embark on a redesign, now you need to figure out if you're going to be the one doing that or if you're going to outsource it to somebody else. DIYing your website is totally fine. If you're starting out your own new business or you're still in the midst of scaling, it's okay to do this to save yourself some money if redesigning isn't in your budget for this year. However, make sure that it's not going to start costing you in time and stress more than it saves.
Tools like Squarespace and Wix exist, and for brand new businesses or side hustles, they can be a great place to start, but they do come with limitations, especially as you grow. SEO can be time consuming and it's not always forefront in these platforms. Designs can feel cookie cutter or templated, and the time you spend learning how to use the platform is going to quickly add up.
So for example, if you're a small business out there already wearing all of the hats, doing 100 things a day, taking on the task of DIYing your website might not be the best use of your time. Working with a website redesign agency lets you focus on running the day-to-day of your actual business, while an agency like us builds a site that looks good and works good. We can relate to other small business owners out there that you want to do everything yourself. You want to save your money. You want to make sure that it's worth the investment. So we definitely feel you guys, but at the end of the day, sometimes you have to learn to let go and not have to control everything within every aspect of your business, especially something as technical as a website. There's a lot of aspects that go into it, so it's okay to play to your strengths and recognize your weaknesses.
Okay, so now let's talk about how to choose the right web design agency if you're considering that instead of DIYing. We can say not all agencies are created equal when it comes to web design, redesigning a current website out there, or SEO.
And for something like website management and SEO, you're probably going to want more of a partnership relationship, so where they can maintain those services over a long period of time throughout your business. When it comes to an agency, look for things like their communication, their process, and their strategy. If they're leaning more on you for the answers to those questions and not providing it themselves, they may not be the right fit for what you need.
Yeah, definitely look for an agency that's going to ask about your goals and the KPIs that matter to your business. And then we'll take that and build a strategy specifically for you and your business instead of just asking what colors you like and leaning on you to come up with the strategy.
It's okay to admit that an agency isn't the right fit. Vibing with the people as well is an important part of the process. Make sure they're actually listening to what you want and what your goals are for the growth of your business. If they already have what they want to do in mind, again, you need the partner who's going to be flexible and give you a custom strategy based on your small business. Your input matters. You deserve an agency that's as excited about your success as you are and also has the skills to back it up.
On top of that, when you're researching agencies for redesigning your small business website, look at their portfolio, look at their results, case studies they have out there. What does their website look like? Is it loading quickly? Is it easy to navigate? Bonus points if they've worked with businesses that are similar to yours. Read their reviews, their testimonials, and ask all the questions that you want answered that are important to you.
TLDR, choose a partner, not just a provider. Okay, so now that you've gone through the checklists and you're in a position to where you're ready to embark on getting your website redesigned and outsourcing it to an agency. But let's talk money. What's actually going to impact the website redesign pricing? And remember, redesigning your website is an investment, not just an expense. We cannot reiterate enough how much your website is a 24/7 working employee.
Okay, we know hearing that it depends is the worst answer ever. We're sorry to do this to you, but as far as a website redesign go, it really does depend on so many factors. The largest factor is usually going to be the size and the scope of the project. So how many pages do you need? Are you starting with material or is it all going to be from scratch? Do you need a booking system integrated? Do you have an e-commerce website and you're selling products through the website? Do you need custom branding, or are you going to be bringing your own brand guidelines in? What are you providing versus what the agency is providing? And are they doing any of the on-page SEO implementation that they probably should be doing? Even something as simple as your timeline will affect the price at the end of the day. So there's a lot of factors that go into a custom pricing for your small business website redesign.
If you need a redesign and you have a typical 5-pager website, I would say look to spend around a couple of thousands of dollars. If you're getting up there in a larger website, maybe you have 20 blogs, maybe you have 50 pages, the number is going to increase. If you want a really beautifully designed website and designing is going to be an extra specialty, that's going to impact the price as well. Here at Mad Banana Marketing, we've worked with tons of small business owners as well, and we build you a custom strategy so that you're not paying for what you don't need. At the end of the day, if you're a small business owner, we may not recommend you have a 50-page website right off the bat. Building out a website is where you're going to find a strategic partner who sees where you're at and sees where you want to be and builds around that. Because it's an investment in your growth, we want to make sure that every dollar counts towards your business success. You can expect to pay a couple $1,000s, and that's pretty reasonable for an investment into your business.
Okay, so let's wrap it up and give a few actionable tips that you can take away and apply to your business to see if it's the right time to redesign your website, whether you should DIY it or look for an agency like Mad Banana.
First, make a list. Go evaluate your website and write everything out that you think could be improved or needs help on, from the technical side to the design, from the messaging and everything in between. Then, the second part is see how much time you have and if you're able to complete everything on that to-do list or not.
And if you're even able to, if you know how to. Because like we said, there's some technical aspects, especially if you run that page speed insight report that you might not know how to actually fix, but you know it's negatively impacting your website.
That's a great point. If you do decide that you're going to DIY it yourself and you have enough time to do it and you have the skills to accomplish it, make sure you're building on some sort of a staging profile, temporary domain, or whatever your web provider has to make sure you don't end up with half redesigned website, half an old designed website, and things on your to-do list start piling and it gets pushed down on the priority list. We never want you to have a half and half situation.
Or even worse, your website is down while you're redesigning it because you think you can get it done quickly. But then as life comes up, your website is down for longer and longer, and now no one can even visit your website.
I would say be honest with yourself. And if you're someone who says they're going to prioritize it and ends up pushing things off on your planner month by month, because listen, I've been there, maybe it's time to reflect inward and say, I need to outsource, and DIYing is not the way to go.
The next step would be to take the time to research agencies that you might be interested in, speak to who you're actually going to be working with, see if you vibe with them, and see if they can actually meet what your business needs.
If you are ready to outsource to an agency, hey, we're Madison and Anna with Mad Banana Marketing, and we help your people find you online. We're a creative website and SEO agency, and we create websites that not only look good, but work good. We'll leave our portfolio in the description if you want to check us out or see what a portfolio should resemble by a marketing agency. Don't just watch this video and say, great information, and then don't act on it. If any of these apply to you, make sure that you're prioritizing this because a website is the foundation of all of your marketing efforts. It is a non-negotiable in today's day and age.
And chances are, if you're looking up, should I redesign my website for my small business? It's probably time.
If you found this video helpful, like this video and subscribe to our channel. We've got tons of small business resources coming your way. And as we say around here, get mad,
Go bananas.
What if I just did the worm?
No, it's stopping you. But no one asked for it.